Summer Wiggum. Thank you so much for coming to Ryan Gildersleeve's senior presentation. I've been his mentor for 4 years, and it's just been such a fun ride. And it's funny, Mrs. Rogate, and I just noticed like 10 seconds ago, your advice says the satisfaction of getting something done early will always be better than simply getting it done. Advice. So my biggest advice to you is use that advice. Right. So oftentimes our conversations would be like, Ryan, there's something missing. Why are we not done this yet? I've done it. Are you sure? Does the teacher know you've done it? Well, no, I haven't turned it in yet. And so these are our common conversations, but from freshman year to senior year, Ryan has completely grown up into a genuinely kind young gentleman, and I'm very proud of him. So I'm excited to see all about your past, your present, and your future. Congratulations, Ryan.
All right, so yeah, I'm Ryan Gildersleeve, as you guys probably should know by now. Yeah, so thank you all for being here for one. This is my senior presentation. You can see my beautiful senior photo there. And yeah, let's get started. A little bit about me. I grew up in Leavenworth, Washington. I moved here my 8th grade summer, and since then I've just been kind of sifting through the waves, trying to find how I can swim. And yeah, so my family, starting on the left here, we've got my brother Cale. He's in his later 20s, don't really have a lot to say about him, but he's there, he's my brother, I promise, I'll show ID if I need. There's me in the bottom there. Up there is my father Derek. He's been working with the city of Leavenworth for a while, and since then I couldn't really remember before then when he wasn't either logging or working at Waste Management. Either way, just in my life, he showed me a lot about what hard work looks like, and I respect that as much as I really can. Down here is my little sister Jamie. She is a 6th grader at Manson Elementary School. In the middle there is my dog Dozer, one of the most important of the bunch. And then this is my older sister Autumn. She is 21 years old. She works at Regency in Wenatchee, helping old folk kind of find their way. And yeah, on the right side here, this is my mom's side of the family. Starting from the left, this is my mother Anita. She is, she's my mom, somebody that I look up to, someone whose story I can't really deny the gratitude and the admiration that I have for him. In her arms is my little brother Jace. He's definitely one of my favorite people. He's sitting right there. He's one of my favorite people, someone that I can't get enough of being around. He might get on my nerves sometimes, but I love him as much as I love anything else in this world. Below him is my little sister Jamie again. There's me, my sister Autumn again, and then my stepdad Joey. My stepdad Joey's been working in Manson since we all moved up here. He's a special ed director, football coach, somebody who gets a lot of things done. Another thing that I should probably observe. Moving on here, just another slide about family. This is my great-grandma Ginger here on the left. She is definitely one of the most important people in my life. I haven't had a lot of people surrounding me growing up and being where I'm at now, but somebody that I could always lean on when I needed it, and even when I didn't, is my great-grandma Ginger. She's always pushed me to be better than I already am. She's been somebody that she has my whole heart. I love that woman with everything that I have. On the right here is my great-grandpa Ted. He's sitting in the front here. He, another person that I admire a ton. Hard work is something that I respect more than anything. And I don't think that there's a better picture of that than my great-grandpa Ted. Somebody who came up from not a lot and turned it into a very well living. Somebody who has really painted the picture for what I want to be like in my coming years. My friends, so I'll start in the upper left here. This is my girlfriend Maddie. I've known her for about a year now, somebody that I definitely love my time with. Down here in the bottom left, some of the most important people in my life. Starting from the left, we've got Micah Peterson. He's Micah, he's about 47% cheeseburger, and somebody that I trust with my life, just like the rest of these guys. There's me. And then there's Gunnar Rasmussen, somebody who I have drank way too many energy drinks with, waiting to get trucks done in the middle of the night for way too long. Somebody who I have broken my fingers working on brake calipers with, putting together U-joints more traumatic things I'll never do again in my life. There's Zay Miracle, somebody that I've been close with since he moved up here, somebody that has also given me a lot to not just work with, but also work for. I work for his family. I have worked with them for about a year now, and it's the better job that I have. It's I get to be around people that I love, people that I know love me. I get to work with people that I don't have to treat as strangers, and I don't have to put on a face for. I can be myself, and that's really all I could ask for. Moving on here, so my accomplishments. Yeah, so starting in the upper right, I have the uttermost respect in the fact that I get to tell people I went to state and took 4th place in something, that being apple judging. I was a 4th place state apple judging team member. I don't have a lot to say about that. I will say that I probably took our score down more than anyone else on the team. But I was there and I tried, and that's what matters. In the upper left is a picture of me throwing a pitch. If you look closely, you can see my tongue sticking out there. Baseball has been one of the more important things that I've been a part of in my life. I started from a very young age, about 5 or 6 years old. I just, playing t-ball, just kind of making my way through that, blossomed into a love for the sport. I can't remember a time in my life where baseball wasn't my main focuses. When there's been other things in my life that have either been stressful or hitting hard on my mind, one thing that I've always been able to do is, go out to a yard, I can get off a tee, I can throw a ball against a wall, I can do something that can further my way into where I am today. I worked from that young age to being the starting pitcher for our varsity baseball program. I was a varsity baseball player all 4 years of high school, which is something that I am very grateful for. It's been a program that I cannot compare against anything I've been a part of in my life. I played at Cascade, I played in Leavenworth, but I just never felt the love from a team as much as I did here. Getting the chance to lead them this year as a captain was one of my most proud moments. I got to, teach and grow with a bunch of guys that needed it for sure. But I love them. I could not imagine this year without baseball. It was one of the only significant things that I can really remember. It's the reason I come to school every day. It's the reason I live the way I live. I love the sport and could not live without it. Moving on here, some of my gratitudes. Here in the upper left is Sarah Wiggum. She has been my mentor for 4 years and has been somebody that I know that I can always go to if I need it. There's been a lot of times where I've been in dark places. I've been down and out and didn't really feel like I had a lot of people that I could go to and talk to about it. But she's always been there for me and always has been someone that I can, skip out on classes to go shoot in the gym with and go after and before school to shoot hoops with in the gym. And yeah, I respect the hell out of you. I couldn't. Another thing that cemented high school is one of the more important parts of my life. Here in the middle is Mr. Amson. He kind of opened me to being the person I am here at Manson. I cannot remember a time that he wasn't one of my teachers. I started my freshman year with shop as one of my classes, and I didn't really think that I was going to be into it that much. I mean, I'd done things mechanically before, but nothing that I really had a passion for. And coming in and going into that shop was definitely one of the more important parts of my high school career. I have a story that I'll never forget. That's fun. I have a story that I'll never forget with Mr. Amson. One of my first days being in shop in high school, I was swapping out an acetylene tank in the back. And so back where the tanks are held, it's wall, and then there's a fence. And that's what holds in the tanks. So I'm back there and I'm swapping out this acetylene tank. I put the new one in, I put it on, and then I go to walk away, and I'm hung up like that as Mr. Amson had tied the headphones that were around my neck to the back of the fence. And when I tried to walk away, was pulled backwards. Headphones got ripped out, but you know what? It was.
I sat there and watched that.
He sat and watched that, so that definitely goes to show the loyalty. But yeah, no, definitely opened my personality up to a lot of people. Before then, I was just kind of trying to make friends, trying to find somebody that I can project myself onto, and just kind of open up. But that definitely is the moment that I see as my crowning here in Manson. Here in the upper left, Mrs. Rogie, another person who helped me open up. When I first came here, I was a little 4 foot nothing, something like that. Didn't really talk to anybody, was used to what I had in Leavenworth, scared of change, couldn't really adjust in my mind to being in a different place. I mean, I had grown up there my whole life. I was just used to a way of living down there that was different. And so moving up here, I had a lot of difficulty with it, and obviously that kind of turned me into a shy kid. And sitting in Mrs. Rogie's health class, the first day I was brought up, and we were all lined up. I can't remember what we were doing, but we were all lined up and we were saying something about ourselves. And I'm sitting there and I couldn't really think of anything. But to my right was Tucker Flowers. He was probably the first person that I really did make friends with when I moved up here. He was, just kind of sat there, cracked a joke. I cracked one back, and then there you go. It just kind of helped to put a crack in the egg, to say. It helped me to go back. It helped me to, open myself up and become the person I am today. And the bottom left, Mr. Thompson, Coach Thompson. You has been somebody who he's been the baseball coach for all 4 years, and someone who has helped to push me to also be who I am today. The coaching staff at Manson has been the best I've ever had. I will always remember freshman year coming in. We went to Wapdo Point and we had a little team meeting kind of thing. Went and swam in the pool, threw a ball around. It was a fun time. And afterwards, we sat there and we had the little cards that we were writing our goals on. And my goal was I wanted to pitch in a varsity game. That ended up happening against Tenasket in the 6th inning of that game. I warmed up with Zach Serafini, and I went in, struck out 2 guys, and was on the high of my life. It was one of the best experiences that I can remember. I obviously have it down to the second in my mind. It replays every time I take the mound. I just loved being here, being coached by you, being coached by all of the coaches at Manson. Another story I have, I remember being a freshman, talking to Coach Schomel. He told me, I was up there and I'm throwing a bullpen, and he comes up to me and he goes, you know what I really do think would make you a better baseball player? And I look at him and I go, well, what? He says, well, if you put on 40 pounds, maybe you could throw it a little faster. I'm like, okay, well, that's a little unrealistic until the next year when I had put on 30 pounds. I come back and I'm proud. I'm like, coach, you put on 30 pounds. He goes, okay, so you got 10 to go. And I'm like, okay, that's a goal. I'll try my best. I come back the next year, my junior year, and I was ready to go. That summer, I had put in the work that I needed to put in. I felt really good with where I was at. I was in the best athletic condition of my life. I could throw a ball faster than I ever could before. I was hitting better than I ever could before. And I came into it and I hit the ground running. We had those first practices and we were all looking really good. You could tell that the team had progress. We looked great. It was really, really a good time in our baseball little segment that we had there. And then we got on that bus to go to a tournament, and this was the beginning of my junior year last year, and we got canceled then and there. We were all on the bus, we're all ready to go, and the athletic director comes in and says, you're done. You can't go to the game, they got COVID. So the next day, we went to baseball practice, and we're all sitting there. We all kind of knew what was coming, but we were fighting it in our minds. And I just cannot remember more of a heartbreak to me than being told that we're not going to have a season that year, because it felt to me like my work had gone towards nothing. I put in a lot, and I wanted to show everyone how good I could be. I definitely throughout my life have seen a pattern of a little bit of proving myself to people has been something that I've always needed to do. I strive for being noticed by people. And so getting the opportunity to do that this year after working my butt off that sophomore summer was great. The first time I took the mound, I struck out 15, didn't allow a single hit, 4 2/3 innings, hit well, and it felt great. I say that freshman year experience was the high of my life, but that's a close second. It was great to feel that dominance being on the mound, but yeah, it's baseball has definitely been a big part of it, and Mr. Thompson, I accredit that all to you. Moving on to my internships. So the Manson internship program has really done me favors. My freshman year, went and had my internship at the Green Dot Sub Shop, where I really just wanted to find a place that I could get free food.
Yes.
I was looking through my options. It was like, oh, I could do this, I could do that. They got food. I'll go do that. I went to the sub shop, learned how to make sandwiches. Didn't do very well at it, but I tried. And that really led to one of the more instrumental parts of what I'm sure my life will turn out to be. I had a boss named Jeff Conwell. He owns Green Dot. He owns both of the Green Dots in Manson and Chelan, and he was an instrumental speaker in KOCI. I built that relationship with him, and still on my phone today, I have the message of when he called me. I missed the call. I don't know what I was doing. But I missed the call, and he leaves a voicemail, and he says, "Got the keys to your broadcast future in my hands." I listened to him. What's this guy talking about? So I called him back, and he offered me a job at KOCI. I've been working there for the past 3.5 years, and that's really kickstarted my love for broadcasting. Being there for that long, I've done a lot. I could list it all, but you'd all get bored very fast. And yeah, the Manson internship program has helped to blossom that relationship, not only with Jeff and the radio station, but also just with my love for not only sports broadcasting, but broadcasting as a whole. Community contributions, that's a good one. So I've been a 6th grade camp counselor my whole life, or not my whole life, but 7th or 9th grade through junior year. I was a 6th grade camp counselor. Obviously unable to do that this year for COVID reasons, but yeah, I mean, I valued it a lot. It's helped me in my want to teach other people and help them not be me. And so getting this group of guys, not only these ones, but I had about 3 groups of guys that I got to mentor and teach for 3 days in either the YMCA camp down in Plain or at Holden Village. And yeah, I did my best to help them be somebody that would be of value to society, someone who's not going to end up doing wrongs their entire life. I tried my best. I wanted to become a role model to these kids, and I'm sure that I have. I still talk to some of the kids that I had in my 6th grade camp cabin my freshman year, and they always come up with these stories that I can never remember. But yeah, I take that as a little bit of reassurance that I did and created myself in these boys' minds, and that's exactly what I wanted to do with this experience. My next steps. So I'm attending Central Washington University in the fall, where I plan to pursue sports broadcast. I also plan to pursue business administration as a backup plan to my broadcasting career. I value both of those to the point where I have to do it. Business and that field has been something that I've always been interested in. I've always wanted to own something for myself and be my own boss. I don't really do well with people being above me in that situation, and so, I don't know what I did there. There we go. And so, owning my own business and being my own man is what I've always wanted to do, and that's how I can do it. Sports broadcast. I have always wanted to do something in this field. I can remember being young, playing video games. I would turn off the commentators on the game and I'd do it myself. And I kind of knew that that was a sign for something, and I found it definitely working at the radio station, that this is what I meant to do. So that is what I plan to pursue in my next steps. Thank you all for attending my presentation.